Before I came here, I was lost. I was like pretty much like the prodigal son, I'm thinking, because man, I always wanted to leave home, run on my own. I've been in Virginia for 4.5 years, running from California. I got stabbed 8 times in California. So I came over here. Before I came over here, though, I lived a life of gangs, drugs, and lived in prison. Came over here to run away, but my problems caught up with me over here. My addiction did. I knew God, but wasn't ready. I was just alone, living my life how I was before here. It wasn't right. I know that. My life was I was going in circles. I know that for sure. I was going in circles. My whole 20s, it was pretty much in jail, prison. And then 30s, I came here when I was 34. Couldn't get right. Couldn't get my life right. Yeah. My drug of choice was meth. I tried it when I was young, though. I tried it when I was like 13. I was in seventh grade. I remember that, but it didn't really register to me. I think God was protecting me, honestly, because it just didn't. I didn't really feel different. I went to sleep that day. I didn't feel high or anything. I felt like maybe a little different, but I didn't know. I was only 13, so and then I just didn't find interest to it. I didn't find it pleasing or anything, and then I forgot about it, and then it re-arrived in my life when I was 15, and I actually I remember the first day I did it too. I was smoking weed, and it was Subway sandwiches. Subway sandwiches. I used to work there when I was 15, and my best friend did too, Paul. His his 56-year-old uncle, him and my friend Paul were they're in a bathroom taking forever. I thought they're I was like, what are you guys doing? So I opened the door and it was all smoky, and I was like, it doesn't even smell like weed. This is like really bad weed. And then he was like, well, come here, try this. I was like, what is this? I didn't even know, like, because they're smoking it. And then after that, it was just a wrap. I started doing it every day. I was losing weight. So I thought that would be, I thought I was, losing weight, looking better, but I wasn't. And I got hooked on it. And then I started doing it with my uncle. I started doing meth with my uncle. And then went to group homes, went to some juvenile hall. And then when I get out, I'll just find meth again. Try to move away. I went to Vegas for a little bit, moved away, found meth over there. Yeah, I was there for 2 years, came back over here to California, and then I just really got hard with the gangs again. Me and my family, it was a kind of a messed up situation. And yeah, so my family, they never allowed me in. Yeah, we were always arguing, especially with my dad. Me and my dad bumped heads a lot. So I was always living on the streets, and I found my place and I found my purpose in the streets. Now I think about it, I'm like, what the heck was I doing? But yeah, I found my purpose in the streets. I started doing things for people, just trying to earn my respect, trying to earn my love. I thought that's how it would be. And I went to prison, got out of prison, tried to go back home, but it didn't work out. So I lived the streets again, started selling drugs, started doing the whole gang life in California, went to prison again. Then after that, I got blessed because I went to prison, but I tried out for this fire camp. I became a firefighter in prison, and then that's when I really got it close to God, was in that fire camp. And then got released. I actually went to a program like this called the Hacienda, and it was pretty cool. God was definitely there, but I didn't finish it. And God always told me, he's like, you owe me a program. You owe me a program. And I knew, and I just didn't want to listen. And finally, I left that place. Then I got stabbed. I got stabbed 8 times by my own gang. Then I went to prison like 3 weeks after I got stabbed. So I was still healing in prison. And I got out. And I don't really want to live in California anymore. It's just there's nothing there for me. So I came over here. The only way I came over here is because I knew a guy on Messenger. He was my friend. He was my friend, Facebook friend for years, and we always used to send each other Bible verses. And that's it. And then one day I just reached out to him. I was like, "Look, I'm California. There's nothing here for me. I'm either gonna get stabbed or get shot from this gang that's looking for me." Or the cops are going to hassle me thinking I'm still part of the gang. He told me to come over here, and I've been on my own after 2 months of meeting that guy. He was like a recovery. He was a pastor too, though. He was pretty cool in Edinburgh. And I just kind of been roaming around Virginia for like 4 years, just on my own, and knowing that I can't really go back to California. That's what I've been doing before Eagles Nest. I lived in Galax for the last 2 years, did some jail time here in Virginia. I'm on probation. So how I heard about this was I kept on getting dirty drug tests. He's like, hey, you're doing good, but you popped dirty again. I mean, you have a job. I know you have a job. I was like, yeah, I can handle it. I'm good. Probation officer Tanner. He's like, you sure? Because I'll put you in a program. I was like, no, I do not want to go to a program. The last thing I want to do, I'd rather go to jail than a program, I told him. And so he's like, all right, well, your next drug test is going to be clean. I was like, all right, yeah. So my next one was clean, and I'm doing okay. I'm struggling, and then 2 months later, you got another a dirty drug test. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like, I'm gonna have to put you in a program. I was like, look, I'm good. I don't need a program. Just, And so he's like, you don't need a program. Then you're gonna go ahead and go to jail for 15 days and sober up. I was like, oh my gosh. So I went to jail in 15 days, but that right there, my mind was cleared from marijuana, from meth. I started receiving the Holy Spirit again because I know God, And then in jail, it was just me in a jail cell. It's just basically God whispering, "You owe me a program. You owe me a program." And I'm like, man. And then my heart got soft, and I was like, you know what? I'm 39 years old. The way I live my life is totally wrong. I need to go to a program, and I need this. If I want to be in God's will, I can't be preaching the word and smoking a cigarette saying God delivered me. So I was like, Eagles Nest has a no nicotine. It's crazy. That was my main reason why I wanted to be here at Eagles Nest. And it just turned out that was the reason that I saw. But really, there's a lot more reasons why. Overall, Jesus put it in my mind that Eagle Nest was good for me. I thought it was the no nicotine, but it's not. This place is anointed. I mean, God's everywhere right here. There's good programs out here, but I mean, Eagles Nest, it changed my life. I know programs don't change your life, Jesus does, and that's exactly what this program did, though. I know that. I get happy thinking about that. This program allowed me to understand my defense mechanisms, the healing that I never got, that I thought I got. Inner healing's inner healing's big. You be giving it to God every other day, pretty much, crying, and but after that, there's like a big relief. I hate to admit this, but it was regen. It got me knowing my defense mechanisms. I kind of didn't understand it at first, and I thought everybody was after me, and they're throwing rocks in the dark. And I thought, I'm just gonna slide right by and stay quiet and do these 8 weeks so I can go to inner healing. Lewis and Roy was my teachers, and they said something that I didn't agree with, but it was right. They said that you know what, Bobby, I'm just gonna go ahead and go on a limb. It's like, you like Jesus, but you like the image of Jesus. You don't love Jesus like you're supposed to. I think you're a phony and a fake. And I was like, I got up and like wanted to walk away. I was like, don't you ever tell me that. Like that's, but and then he's all, I'm sorry. I'm just throwing rocks in the dark. I was like, yeah, man, that's crazy. And I kind of got an attitude. I copped an attitude, but like I marinated in that for a while. And I always loved the image. Really, I mean, I was like, man, my pastor, man, that's cool. I want to be like that. But I was like secretly after church rolling up a blunt or drinking or something. I was always liking the image. I always wanted to be that, but I was never actually that. And that's what opened up my eyes. I had like a big old like revelation. I was like, man, I need to start like getting real with this thing. So it was regen for sure, but it was the most hardest thing I ever did in my life. Regen. There's times where like I start crying and going outside and just like laying on the concrete floor, and just didn't understand why everybody was after me. But really, it wasn't. It was just in my head. I really think regen was a big part of my regeneration process. Makes me feel happy. It makes me feel that all that I did, I know I went the wrong way, but I mean, now God can use it for greater good. And like, I got stabbed 8 times. I lived a gang life. I lived prison life, drug life, but all that. And now that I'm living right, he loved me before I even knew him. He loved me before I even like knew he really existed, like in a real place in my heart. And I know that now, so I know like all that I lived, it wasn't in vain. It's it can be for the kingdom, bring people in that is still like that. So I'm really thankful that I am changed, so I can go ahead and just plant seeds. I told people this in inner healing, and I still say it a couple times. Like UCLA, USC, Virginia Tech has nothing on Eagles Nest. I mean, seriously, because yeah, they give you a certificate, education. Eagle Nest gives you a personal relationship with God and what this world, because we're not of this world, and what this world is, and I was almost transformed by this world and being conformed to it. And Eagles Nest made me realize that, and it makes me realize that I had defense mechanisms up from this world, and I had a lot of issues with myself and others and projection, and the way that Eagles Nest just reveals those things to the surface, because you're only as dark as your darkest secret, really. The Eagles Nest, just with their how they process everything from orientation, you know, regen, man, it's well needed. You know what I'm saying? It's well needed. And then inner healing, you're crying every day, like, oh my gosh, and then giving it to God. So now I get to be myself again, but in a transformed body by the renewing of my mind because of the tool that Jesus has. And I think that's Eagle's Nest, really. God uses probably as a tool to get us closer to Him. I just want to say thank you to the Eagles Nest, really. The only thing that I completed in my life was a GED in prison and my driver's license. This is this right here. It's just made it possible for me to actually start living for God. I just want to say thank you.